Hi everyone, welcome back to Almost Normal. I don't know about you, but I love a nap, okay? I love a good nap. When it's midday to maybe 4 p.m.-ish, it's too early to go to bed, but you're tired, you're a little sleepy. You realize that you don't have any more responsibilities for the day. You know, you could do a little work, you have stuff to do, you have stuff to get done, but it's not urgent. So you sit yourself on the sofa or you sit yourself on your bed, which is very dangerous for me. I should never do that. And you notice that your eyes are getting a little heavy. And you're just like, I could just take a little nap right here. I could just close my eyes and take a little cozy nap. The sun's still up, people are still working, people are still doing stuff, but I'm in this moment where I can just turn off, and I think I'm gonna do it. And there is this bliss, for me at least, in those moments where I'm just like, oh, like it's more satisfying than just going to bed at the end of the day. I don't know what it is. It's special. It almost feels like you're doing something a little bit naughty. It also almost feels like you're doing something a little bit secret, because sometimes when I have a nap, I don't tell anybody that I'm going to have a nap. You know, I just sort of go upstairs and then people don't see me for a few hours. Like, it's like my own little thing. Sometimes it surprises me. You know, sometimes I'm just actually trying to do something and then I just drift off. Like, sometimes I can't help it. But anyway, there's something about a nap that's just so delicious, so glorious. It's not every day that I can have one. So when I can, I really just like to sink my teeth into that. Oh, so good. Anyway, putting all that aside, putting the fact that going into it is always amazing. Tell me why every time I wake up from a nap, I feel this overwhelming sense of guilt, of dread, and I am just so mad at myself. Like, so mean to myself, such a bully. Like, why the fuck did you have a nap? Why'd you have a nap? You think you deserve a nap? No, you don't deserve a nap. What? You have shit to do. You have actual shit to do. Maybe it's not urgent, but you could have done it. And then you could have been ahead of the game. And then you wouldn't have had to worry about all the shit you have to do tomorrow because you would have already finished it by now. Or even if you don't have stuff you actually have to do for school or work or anything like that, like there's always things to do. There's always things to improve on, you know, your skincare, your exercise regime, your eating, like there's always something you can do. And I get this every single time. And I almost forget that feeling every time I like sink into that sleepy moment because it's just so luxurious before that I'm just like, fuck it. Like I literally don't care enough. I'm gonna take this fucking nap. And every time I wake up, I feel horrible, terrible, literally like a piece of shit. The other day, I got home from school. I had been at school all day. My school is not close to my house. It's a little bit of a drive. So it's like 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, or like an hour there and an hour back. It's a lot of traveling and just being in class is tiring. So anyway, I got home from school at about 5 p.m. and I started to try do a little work on my laptop. I tried to do a little podcast work on my laptop. And I noticed that I just really couldn't concentrate. I didn't like anything I was doing. And I could feel that my eyes were getting sleepy. And I was like, you know what? Let's not take a nap. You know, let's force ourselves to try and be productive. Okay? Let's try and push ourselves to work on this podcast. Because we're going to feel so great after. Once we've done it, we're going to feel excellent. We're going to be so proud of ourselves that we did not have a nap. We got shit done in that time. And so I spent like an hour and a half sort of randomly clicking, typing things into my laptop, moving files about, doing absolutely nothing productive because I just was not in the zone. I was not in the working zone whatsoever. Like my body was like, I need to rest. And I'm not gonna help you, you know, because your brain, which you need to work, is very, very tired. And I'm telling you that I need to rest and you're not listening to me and you're forcing me to work. And I started to get angry and frustrated, okay? And I started to go, I fucking hate this podcast. I don't want to make this fucking podcast anymore. It's a waste of time. I'm stupid. I don't even get that many views, you know? Why is it so stressful for me? I don't think it's stressful for anyone else. It should be easy. This should be fun. Like, what the hell am I doing? And I was getting so worked up over this because my mind and my body were exhausted. But because I had this feeling that, if I get all this work done, I'm going to feel really great later. Like, I just tried to force it. I really, really tried to do it. I was on the verge of tears. Literally wanted to cry. I was like, I feel like shit. Why can't I do this? I'm just like, this isn't made for me. I've tried, I failed. Like, I was literally on the precipice of like deleting my YouTube account. I was just like not happy at all. Oh, that came out way too fast. Oh no. I always forget that this has color in it. And so when I put lip balm on, I smear it like on my lips, but also like on the area around my lips, because usually it's not colorful. And I've been doing that with this, and I look like I have sauce all over my face, and I only just realized, because by the time usually I get home, I've like wiped it off somehow. But I noticed the other day in my car mirror, and I was like, oh my God, it literally looks like I have sauce all over my face. That's so embarrassing. Why did no one tell me? Anyway, sorry, that was like unnecessary information. But also, some Fridays, I really think you should start sponsoring me, because I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last like 3 or 4 videos, I have just been like using this. So just saying. Anyway. So yeah, I was literally on the precipice of deleting everything, giving up. I was just pissed. And right before I clicked delete all social media, I took a deep breath and I was like, I feel like maybe I'm overreacting. I feel like maybe there is a reason why I'm finding it so hard to work right now. I feel like there's a reason that everything I'm trying to do is taking 25 times longer than it usually does. And that's because I'm tired, okay? I'm fucking tired. So I, in that moment, was like, I am gonna release you of all responsibility, okay? I'm actually gonna not let you do anything that you would deem productive, okay? I'm not gonna let you do anything that will end up with a product. Does that make sense? Like, I am forcing you to not do anything. And so I was so overwhelmed that I was just like, okay. And so I went up to bed. I put on the second season of White Lotus, which I had never seen before. I scrolled through TikTok for like an hour, and I felt like a new woman. I didn't fall asleep. Weirdly, I didn't fall asleep. Probably because White Lotus is so fucking interesting to watch. I just like couldn't sleep during it. But I spent like an hour or more doing absolutely fucking nothing that had anything to do with my work or my school or my health or anything. It was literally just a complete veg out session. That was it, okay? I didn't let myself go on my laptop. I didn't even let myself do online shopping, because that's another thing I do to like feel productive. I'll online shop all the time as if that's being productive in some way. I'm like, oh, I really need this thing. I'm gonna like search for it online, Didn't even let myself do that. I literally let myself scroll through TikTok and watch White Lotus, and that was it. And after that, I felt like $1,000,000. I felt insanely great, okay? After that session, I was so excited to film my next podcast episode. I was like, yes, we've got ideas. Yes, I'm inspired. Oh my God, I can't wait to do that, but I don't have to do it right now. I'm gonna wait for tomorrow. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be so great. And I literally had like a spring in my step. It was crazy. Okay, the difference that made, and I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything. It's not that I was like replenishing my body with something that it was missing. I literally just stopped doing anything. I turned my brain off and I just vegged out. We live in this society that wants us to be a specific type of productive all the time. Okay, and what's interesting about the situation yesterday was initially my brain was saying, oh, like if you get this done, you're going to feel so great later and maybe you can relax later kind of thing. If you get all this work that you have in your head done, then later you can relax. But the truth is that whether I have schoolwork, work, or whether I don't have any of those things, my brain will always find something that I should be doing, okay? If it's not schoolwork or it's not podcast work or anything like that, then I'll think, maybe I should be bettering my health. So I should, in this little time, be going to an exercise class, or I should be going for a walk, or I should be going for a run, or something like that, you know? And then if it's not that, it's like, oh, I should be spending this spare time reading, you know? I should be filling up this time, exercising my brain muscles, and just developing in that way as a human being. If it's not that, it's skincare routines, you know, let's figure out a cute little skincare routine that we can do, or a hair care routine. You know, we're seeing all these people on TikTok waking up at 5 a.m. being so productive from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to sleep. Everything is like setting them up to be this perfect human being. And, you know, you can always fit a little bit more of that in. Even if you've finished with all the work, all the stuff that you have deadlines for, there's always stuff to improve on, okay? So don't just sit around and watch TV and go on TikTok. Like, do those things, because then you're going to be this epic human being and everyone's going to love you and you're going to get 3 million views on TikTok. This is how burnout happens, okay? This is how burnout happens. And burnout is not something anyone wants. Trust me, as someone who has had it so many times and who was very much on the verge of it last night, you don't want it, okay? Because it makes you feel depressed. It makes you feel sad and depressed because you will look back on all these things that you've been working towards, and because you're so fucking tired of thinking about it because you've been forcing yourself to do it for so long, you're gonna just want to give up. And that is just such a horrible feeling, to be like, fuck this, like, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm giving up. Like, this is not a good feeling. It's bad. Projects go up and down all the time. There are good days and there are bad days. And if you're really feeling it and excited for it and feeling very inspired and passionate about it, then those downs are going to feel fine. You know, they're going to be annoying, but you're going to be like, I'm really excited to keep going. I'm excited to see where this project goes. If you have burnout and there's a down in your project, you are going to give up. You're going to give up because your mental health is not where it should be. The project isn't where it should be, nothing is where it should be, and it's just over, okay? It's just over. And yesterday, something in my mind saved me from that. Literally, a little person in my mind was like, fucking go watch White Lotus right now. Like, I am forcing you to do that. And I am not able to do that often. I'm not able to do that often. The scenario yesterday is not the only time that's ever happened. Like, there's been so many times in my life where I'm exhausted and I just want to relax. But my brain is like, why don't we try this new skincare? Why don't we go for a walk? We really wanted abs by summer. Why don't we just like really quickly fit in like a solid core class? Or why don't we like read this new book that's been sitting on the shelf like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's so hard for me to just be like, no, I literally don't want to do any of that. And I want to feel happy not doing any of that, okay? That's the big difference. Like, of course I sit around and watch TV, of course. But there's always this nagging voice in my head saying, you should be doing something. You should be doing something. And it makes it impossible to chill. It makes it impossible to chill because you are just feeling so guilty and you feel like you're wasting time. And yesterday, I have to say, was one of the first times when my brain was like, hey, let's just watch TV and go on TikTok and like do all the things that society tells you not to do and just do that and don't think about anything else. And yesterday, I genuinely did that. I didn't think about fucking anything else. I was so engulfed in the shit that society, again, deems bad. And I was chilling. I was having the best time ever. I literally just completely let go of any chains I had connected to any type of work or productivity. I was like, this is me. I am me. This is my life. I am in this bed, and this bed is my home now. And I didn't do any more work for the rest of the day, to be honest. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, I relaxed, and then I ordered some ramen, and then I went to bed. And that was the rest of the day. And I am so thankful that I did that. I needed it because I woke up this morning with a actual excitement for life. And I know that if I forced myself to work all night last night, feeling the way I did, I would not want to wake up and try again. I would have pushed my limits way too far, and it would have taken time for it to return. We live in a society that wants us to constantly be producing. It wants us to constantly be developing. It wants us to constantly be marching forward and not just sitting still. I think especially with the amount of social media that we have today, we are so in reach of seeing other people's lives, okay? Other people's daily routines are so available to us, and we fill our minds with them, and we start to convince ourselves that these people do these things every day, okay? Every day they wake up at 5 a.m, they take their heatless curls out, they put on these like skin masks, walk around the house, make a latte, do the skincare, go to the gym, come back, it's like 7 a.m, they start working on something, and they're working all day. And then at 8 p.m, they go out for dinner with like a bunch of cool girlfriends, and then they go home, and then they go to bed at like 10 p.m. Like, there's a lot of people I follow on TikTok that live like that. And I have to remind myself that I don't believe they live like that every day. But the way the algorithm works and the way I'm like being fed this information, it does seem like these people do this every single day. And I'm sure there are people on this planet that do live like that every single day. And like, hats off to them, truly. But I think it's incredibly important to remember that that is not everyone, okay? That is definitely not everyone. It just can't be, because also, like, I have friends and none of my friends do that, zero of them. So maybe sometimes they feel inspired and wake up super early and do all that. It's not every day. It's not a constant thing that they do every day. But I follow those people that do that every day, or seem to do that every day, because it's so satisfying to watch. But though it is satisfying, it's also just like crushing sometimes, because I'm like, I woke up at 9 a.m, sat in bed for a while. My husband got me a coffee. That was really nice, but that just like made me sit in bed for even longer. Then I had like a 1 p.m. class, so I sort of like, hung around the house, not really doing much. Then I left the house at like 11:45 to drive to school. Then I did work in the class, and then I left and I came home, and I was sort of just a bit tired, so I had a nap. Like, that's my day usually. Like, to be so real with you guys, that's usually what my day looks like. And I don't have any issues with it. The issues come from my brain comparing myself to other people it sees on social media or whatever. The problems come when my mind starts going, God, you woke up a little late. Like, imagine all the stuff you could do if you woke up at 5 a.m. Imagine all of this that you could do. Imagine if you just didn't relax ever. Imagine how powerful you could be. And the truth is that I wouldn't be powerful at all, because as we heard in the beginning of this episode, I was on the verge of tears yesterday because my brain was telling me that, like, let's not have a nap. I know you're super tired, but there's stuff we can do. Like, let's do it. And I was like very much on the verge of just like running away and going like to live in the woods somewhere, just like deleting all my social media and just like having an absolute Britney meltdown. Like, that is what I was planning on doing right before the other little person in my brain was like, hey, you didn't watch White Lotus, and I think we should do that. It'd be really nice. Let's just do that, Don't think about anything else. And that saved me. That literally saved my goddamn life. Seriously. It was crazy. I genuinely think last night was the first time I had ever just let myself veg and not have that nagging thought of like, why don't we do this and try to... It's like, no. I just completely plugged off, logged out. You know what I mean? It was amazing. It was totally amazing. It was totally great. I think the main point I'm trying to get to here is how important rest is for productivity. Okay? I think that when we initially think about rest, okay, we sort of equate that with like being lazy, not taking the day by the balls and using every minute to its advantage. Through TV shows and just our parents, when we were sitting in front of the television after school, and our parents would be like, oh, you've got to go to ballet class, or you have a piano lesson, or some shit like that. And I don't know, I think over time we've just equated like relaxing with just like being lazy and not being productive. But the truth is that being productive is not possible unless you rest. I think something we all forget about is that rest and relaxation are just as important when getting something done as physically making the work is. Was that English? I think that was English. You need to rest and reflect on things in order to even understand what your hands are doing. When we getting a chance to think about what we're doing, you know? When are we getting a chance to be like, okay, is this right or is this wrong? We're not. We're just at that point robots constantly making things. We need to reflect. We need to think and be like, how can I improve this? Am I inspired? No. And we need that. We need those moments to make interesting stuff, okay? You need that to make anything worthwhile. I have tried so many times to produce work when I'm very much not mentally there, and it never turns out as something that I wish to show anyone. Even if it's paperwork, even if it's like you have a 9-to-5 job, you have deadlines, you have paperwork, you're going to find it so hard to complete anything at a satisfactory level if you are experiencing burnout. You simply won't be able to do it. Trust me, I've tried. It's not plausible. It's not plausible. And you know what? I think that's not a bad thing. You know, I think as long as we all understand and accept that rest is super important, then we'll be able to all slow down a little bit. I think this fast pace, instant gratification type of society we live in now makes it really hard to slow down. When you're in an industry, especially something like content creation, and every time you go on your phone, you see that your favorite content creator has made more content and more content. You're like, how do they do this all the time? I can't even keep up. Like, it's really hard to allow yourself to take a breather because you're already feeling like you're lagging behind because these people that you follow and really enjoy on social media seem to be constantly creating content. I personally don't think they are, and if they are, they're either superhuman or they will eventually experience a little burnout at some point, which will probably cause them to have a much larger pause in social media content creation. You need to have those moments of not having a goal. You need to have those moments where you're simply just living for the present. You're not thinking about any future endeavors. Okay, whatever you're busying yourself with has no big goal at the end. It's just you're living for that moment. Okay, it's just what you're doing for that specific moment. And I think there's something really great in that. Because honestly, when I took an actual rest, I was able to just start thinking about what I wanted to make and discuss and create. And I wasn't even forcing my brain to do any of it. It was just sort of getting inspired by itself. And it was a really wonderful feeling, which I don't get a lot because a lot of the time I'm tired and I just want to rest, but my brain won't let me. So that I'm trying to force work and force this sort of idea that I'm producing things and making things and developing things, but I'm not really. And I'm forcing my brain to come up with new ideas, and I'm not really passionate or care about any of those ideas. And I don't know, it just all doesn't work out, you know? It's just not the way to be proud of the things you're making. So I just want to say, like, if you find yourself needing to take a break, you know, and you want to binge a TV show and you don't want to read that book that's on the side, on your side table, even though, you know, for some people reading can be really relaxing. Yes, that's true. But it doesn't mean it's relaxing for everyone. And it doesn't mean you have to do it. Of course, reading is great. If you're feeling happy and inspired and pepped up, like, read a book. But if you're having that moment where you feel like crashing out, don't force yourself to do anything that you don't feel like you want to do. Okay? If you haven't showered, haven't washed your face, and you find yourself with a free moment, a free hour, let's say, and you feel again like you're about to crash out, don't force yourself to try that new skincare routine that you saw on TikTok. If you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it, okay? Don't do it. Sit in bed, put your pajamas on, and literally just stare at the ceiling if needs be, okay? Because that is as productive as anything else you could possibly do. And I mean that with my whole heart, okay? I literally mean that with every fiber of my being. Being stressed all the time is not how we create great stuff. It is essential to find peace sometimes. Essential. And so if you find yourself vegging out watching all of White Lotus, don't feel bad. Do not have any guilt. Do not have any guilt. If you have a free hour and there's nothing urgent happening and you're a little sleepy, take that fucking nap. Okay? Take the nap. Have a nap. And everything else after that will just flow so much nicer, so much nicer. You know, I've done that thing where I'm a little sleepy and I could take a nap, but I'm like, oh, if I just power through and then I have dinner tonight and once I get to dinner, I'll be awake again. That doesn't really happen to me, to be honest. Like, if I have stopped my body from getting the necessary sleep it needs, then it's not gonna just like revive itself. It needs what it's telling me it needs. When I'm hungry, I have to eat, okay? When I'm thirsty, I have to drink. When I'm tired, why am I so against listening to my body when it says it's tired? I have no idea. I mean, I do have an idea. It's because society says to be a functioning human being, you need to be basically a factory, just constantly making things without taking any breaks, without taking a breath, without thinking, basically. I need to separate my rest and doing stuff. I need to. It's essential. It's essential. Otherwise, I will crash and burn. And I'll feel so terrible about it. I think another important thing to remember is how lucky you are if you're in a position where you are able to rest, and definitely take that to its advantage. Definitely utilize that, because it is such a gift to be able to really take a moment and not be concerned or worried about anything else. And I know it's hard to do because my brain is always thinking about something that I should have to be dealing with, and it's exhausting. But if we can find a way to do it together and to remind ourselves, like, if you're having a lazy day, just know that, like, I'm probably having a lazy day. And if it's not my lazy day today, it was my lazy day yesterday when you were probably at school or doing something else. Just remember, not everyone is just constantly on the move. You know, I know social media makes that so hard to remember or to even believe, but it's true. It's true. Human beings need to rest. It is as important as actually producing something. You need your mind to fill up the tank again, and you can't run on empty, okay? You cannot produce anything on empty. Just literally think of rest as like the gas in your car. Your car won't keep driving if you don't stop at the gas station and fill it up. It'll just stop in the middle of the freeway, which has literally happened to me before, and it was terrifying. Rest is literally charging your battery. And again, that doesn't just mean sleeping from nighttime to morning time and then just rushing through. It's about listening to your body. Okay, I had 8 hours of sleep. Like, I shouldn't be tired. We don't think this way. Okay, sometimes it's not your physical body being tired anyway, it's your brain. Like, mentally, you just need to chill. And it's really important just to listen to your body, because I think that you're going to be so much more proud of all the work that you produce once you can do that. Okay, again, like, when you're hungry, you eat. When you're thirsty, you drink. Like, when you're tired, rest. Seriously, like, it's just as important as everything else. And it's not easy, but I think something that helps me is just reminding myself that everyone has to do it. And if they aren't doing it, then burnout is on the way, for sure. You can rest when you need to. You shouldn't feel guilty about it. You shouldn't feel bad about it. You should not feel like you're wasting time, because rest is just as important as making the actual product or whatever you're doing. It's impossible to do it without, okay? So don't cut out that part of the schedule. It's necessary. It's 100% necessary, okay? Just remember that. Just remember that everyone needs to rest. It's not just you. You're not fucking lazy. You just need a moment. And that is totally fine. And that's not something we should feel guilty about or bad about. You need a fucking moment, okay? Life doesn't have to constantly be on the go. You don't have to constantly be on the go. It's exhausting. And it's exhausting to think that way because, again, when you try and rest, your brain won't let you. You need to remind your brain that it is 100% necessary to rest. If you just want to, like, be a functioning human being, which I'm sure most of us do. Kind of fun to be a functioning member of society. I'm incapable of being that if I don't listen to my body and I don't relax when it needs me to. I'm angry, I'm irritable, I'm mad at myself, mad at you. You know, I'm not making anything worthwhile. And I'm just not being part of society, the part of society that I wish to be. So yeah, if you're watching this while you're procrastinating, That's totally cool. Love that. Very inspiring. Love that for you. You know, after this, I'm probably gonna, chill. Finish White Lotus, maybe. I don't have any pressing shit to do. Again, could think of a million things I could do. Bought this new heatless curl packet. I keep mentioning heatless curls because I actually did do heatless curls with a sock the other night, and I don't think they worked very well. But, that was me attempting to be that aesthetic TikToker, but it's just not my style, Just doesn't come naturally to me, and I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, totally cool with that. Like, when you're up at 5 a.m. doing your skincare routine, like, I love that for you. Personally, for me, I need all the sleep I can get. So if it's either a hour-long skincare routine or an hour more of sleep, I'm gonna pick the sleep. Sorry. Yeah, I just wasn't built for that life. Maybe one day if I have kids, it'll naturally come upon me to be a little bit more productive in the mornings, but I'm just a sloth. I'm lazy as fuck. I'm not lazy. I'm not lazy. I'm just not a 5 a.m. kind of gal. And, it's taken me a long time to accept that, but I'm really not. And also just remember, even if you woke up at like 10 a.m., even if you woke up at 10 a.m., okay, and you get a little tired later, you're allowed to have a nap. This is now just me encouraging you to sleep. I think I might be slightly anemic because I maybe sleep a little bit more than most people should, but this was not about sleep today. This was about just rest, okay? This was about turning off your brain and not doing anything that has to do with anything you're working on. Like, literally just a pause. Like, just pretend you're switching your brain off. What I do sometimes, like I kind of did yesterday, I literally say to myself, I am not allowing you to do that, okay? Literally, like, you are banned. You are banned. Because my brain is always a little bit concerned about doing something wrong. So maybe if I put that idea in its head where I'm like, if you do this, if you try and work on this essay, or you try and work on your podcast, or you do anything like that, like, that's bad. Don't do that. Like, my brain just needs to be afraid in order to listen to me. Yeah, that kind of, to be honest, worked yesterday when I was like, bitch, if you open that laptop and open up text edit, I'm gonna be pissed at you. Like, I'm not gonna be happy. You've let me down. You have let me down. If you start reading that fucking book on your nightstand, you have let me down. That is not what I asked you to do. I asked you to sit and look at the TV and do nothing else, okay? That is what I want you to do. And to be honest, I succeeded last night with flying colours at that, went on for a little longer than I even anticipated. It was great. Just rest, just take a moment. Take a moment, seriously. It's so fucking important. So important. And I know it's been drilled into us since we were kids, like, watching TV is bad and not being productive all the time is bad, and, like, that's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Like, what does society expect? What does society expect? I'm under no illusion that the government is constantly working. This government? Yeah, just know the government takes rests. They take a lot of rests. Yeah, you'll just be finding them on the golf course, I think. And you're not in the government. So why do you have to work more than the president of the United States has to work? You don't. Trust me. And I can tell you, he takes a lot of naps, I'm sure. And I don't think he's feeling an inkling of guilt about that. So just remember, you don't need to work harder than the president. So if he's chilling, like, why shouldn't you, Like, seriously. Anyway, I'm drinking a coffee at 4:30 p.m. Don't ask me why. It's not an energy drink. I don't really get that affected by caffeine, which is interesting. It's probably all the substances I've put in my body over the years, and now I'm just like, coffee does nothing for me. It's like milk. It's like flavored milk. But yeah, I'm gonna watch White Lotus. Then I have dinner at 7:30 in Venice, so I'm gonna go there. And then I'm on spring break, actually. It's Friday, I'm on spring break. Yeah. I did actually spend this morning in urgent care because I'm having some issues with my abdomen. Anyway, that's the story for another day. They have started to blow leaves across the street once again. So I should probably go. I just love hanging out with you guys. Yeah, I got these fucking earrings. These were like $200. And the clasp, like, doesn't really work. It does work, but it's so weak that, like, if I move it in my ear at all, it'll fall out. So I can't really wear them when I go out because what if I lose it? So now I just, like, have to wear these, like, when I'm in the house, which is nuts. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Take a rest. Seriously, take an actual rest. take an actual rest. If you want my TV show / movie list, let me know. There's a lot of great stuff on there. And just like dive in, you know? Out. Fucking just order a Domino's and just like relax. Like seriously. It's good for your health. I mean, the Domino's might not be that good for your physical health, but like we're talking mental health at the moment, okay? And Domino's is fucking fantastic for your mental health. I had it the other day and I literally felt like $100. $100. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go. Just love you guys. I don't really want to leave, but I should, because now it's just like, what the hell is going on? All right, I love you guys. Mwah. Okay. I love you guys. Oh, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do. It's super helpful to me and you can see anytime I post anything. So, you know, if I do any bonus videos or anything like that, then you'll be the first to know. If you don't subscribe, you won't be. So, make sure you subscribe. Okay, I love you guys so much and I will see you next time. Okay, love you. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.